It's time to play Who Wants to Be a Vaccinated Millionaire? The Oregon edition. But what if you got vaccinated in a different state, or by the VA, or one of the tribes? Does your name still get thrown in the pot, or are you out of luck? And after putting things on pause during the pandemic, the city of Portland announced they would clear more homeless camps starting today. But I gotta tell you, we spent the whole day on the streets, and so far, looks pretty much the same.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. It seems like nothing happened. It seems really odd.
And business owners aren't exactly holding their breath.
No, I don't believe it. We're just being told what we want to hear, what will pacify us for another month, another 2 months.
Here's this story. All right, let's get started. It is a Monday. Thanks for being with us. Hi, I'm Dan Haggerty. This is the story, as my voiceover just told you, in a more dramatic way. Here's the not bad. All the ways to communicate with us at the bottom of your screen. So email us at thestorykgw.com. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff, or use Twitter and the hashtag HeyDan. Let's get started. And we're going to get right into the big story tonight. We're talking about that big jackpot that you can win in Oregon just by getting vaccinated. The state is giving away a prize of $1 million, as well as 36 $10,000 prizes, one for each person in each county. Teenagers, they can also win some pretty big scholarships. It's a big deal. And I know a lot of you have some big questions, especially about who is eligible exactly. And I took some of those questions to Pat Doris, who has been all over this lottery story since it was announced. So let's talk to Pat Doris. We've been getting a ton of questions about this vaccine lottery, how it's going to work, how people are getting their names in the pot for all of this. But I want to start with the most simple, maybe most widespread one we've gotten is, where exactly is this lottery money, this $1 million, and then the additional money in the certain count in the counties? Where's it coming from?
It's coming from the federal government. And so they're making money available to incentivize different states, different counties to get more people vaccinated. So I mean, it sort of sounds like it's free money. Of course, it comes from taxpayers, but that's where it's coming from. It's not coming out of any state budgets.
Interesting. All right. I got an email I want to read to you from Mike. It says, "Hey, Dan, my Portland family received our COVID-19 shots at the Clark County Fairgrounds in Washington, right? Will we still be eligible for the COVID shot lottery here in Oregon?"
Excellent question. I think the answer is yes, because I believe the OHA on Friday was saying that Oregon residents that are vaccinated outside of the state, that is still reported into the state so that OHA does have a record of that. And if OHA has a record of your vaccination, you are in the lottery.
Okay. How about this one? This is another one from James, and I'm going to add a little bit to this, but this is what James said. What about those of us who were vaccinated outside of the OHA? I got mine through the VA. All right. So the VA gets their allotment of the vaccine from a federal stockpile, not from the OHA. And the same could be said about the tribes. And I know a lot of people got their vaccines that way as well. So how are those people going to have their names incorporated in this Oregon vaccine lottery?
Well, you're not going to like this. It's a two-part answer. For the VA, right now, they're not. And that's a lot of people. I was talking to the VA today. It's about 70,000 people that they vaccinated in the state. And you're right, because they get their supplies from the federal government, because they are part of the federal government. There's just like, it's this tunnel, and they do not share with the OHA. And the folks I was talking with were sort of saying, gosh, we hope the OHA can find some way to encourage people that were vaccinated by the feds to step forward so they can be joined into the lottery, which is not a good solution. But at this moment, they will not be part of the lottery. They said, really? You're going to take $1 million from a World War II veteran potentially? And they're like, yeah, it doesn't sound so good, does it? No, fellas, it doesn't. You should fix that. All right. And then on to the tribal issue. Some of the tribes got their vaccine from the federal government, but some got it from the state. So like the Grand Ronde, one of the largest operations near Portland, got theirs from the OHA. So they gave vaccinations to about 10,000 people, including one of my sons. Those names will all still be entered in the lottery. If the tribes, though, got the vaccine from the federal government, then not so much.
And is there any work being done to remedy that? Because, cutting out our tribes and cutting out our veterans from this process just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, well, you and a lot of people don't like the idea. So What we're told is that we need to continue to check back with the governor's office because they're trying to figure out a solution. But I really have not heard any movement on that so far. It's only been a few days, but I'm sure they're working on it. But so far, I've not heard of any solutions.
There's still time. When is the actual drawing? It's not for weeks.
27th of June.
Got it.
Or 28th of June. The last day to get vaccinated is the 27th.
All right,
so if you haven't done it, hurry up, folks.
Exactly. All right, Pat Doris, thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Now, this all came out kind of on Friday at this $1 million lottery. We had a little bit of fun on the show here. We had a little sweepstakes of our own. We were inspired by the governor's announcement of that $1 million giveaway, so we decided to give away something almost as great. I think our viewer Brand really summed it up perfectly with this email. I really hope I can win all that crap. A bag of KGW swag was up for grabs on Friday. Check it out. These are the things we had: hats, a mug, stickers, an ice scraper for some reason. It's summer, I know that. Year-old candy bars, chapstick. Who at KGW is like, how do we market this place? How about chapstick? A burned-out light from our set that was driving people crazy. A lot of other random stuff that we found around the station. It was fun. We asked you guys to send in an email with the word lottery in the subject line, and we thought we'd get like, I don't know, 50, 100, maybe a little more than that people involved in this. Well, I was wrong. Because we got like 500 emails in the first minute. In total, about 1,500 emails by the first commercial break. We had producers and managers, a whole bunch of people scrambling to write down all the names on little scraps of paper. And at the end of the show, I went into a hat and I picked a winner. Thank you, everybody at home, for getting involved. Here we go. Let's go. I'm going to dig down deep into this thing. Who is going to win? Who's going to win this puppy? Huh? Laurel Porter, did Laurel send in an email? All right, here we go. This is it. This is our winner. Teresa Kreitzer. Teresa Kreitzer, you have won the swag bag. How about that? Teresa, thank you for being a story viewer along with all these other people. I'm sure she's thrilled. And we found out that Teresa is actually a very loyal story viewer. It was great. In fact, last week, prior to all that, she emailed us a story idea. This is the video of it on your screen right now, about the Yamhill County Commissioner's vote to require teenagers to get parental consent for the COVID vaccine. So I guess her win was us paying her back, because that very day when she sent us that email, we had Tim Gordon assigned to it for the next day. So we put a reporter on it. And I just want you to see the proof. I mean, this is feedback that we get from you that we incorporate into our coverage. That's how this show works. So thank you again to Teresa for that great idea. I hope you enjoy all your crap, as Brand put it. We are excited that you won, and thanks to everybody else who entered our little sweepstakes. Why don't we count some vaccines, huh? I like to do that every night. Let's take a look. More than 2.17 million Oregonians have gotten at least their first dose, and that works out to be 62% of Oregon's population who is 16 and older with at least one shot. And in Washington, more than 3.67 million people have gotten at least their first dose. That's about 60% of their population, people 16 and older. Again, both states are trying to get that number, that 59.8 in Washington, and in Oregon, they want to get that up to 70% of the population of eligible people in order for us to fully reopen. Now, let's talk about homelessness for just a second and kick things off with this viewer question. Richard wrote in and said, are the homeless camp sweeps on or off? Richard, great question. Cutting right to the chase. I like it. And it's warranted, because when it comes to this topic, this is a big day. After more than a year of laying off these sweeps because of COVID, the city, on its own accord, they made an announcement. They sent out a press release. Staff promised to start clearing homeless camps more aggressively starting today. And I'm not sure if you've checked your calendar, but it is currently today. Is it any different, though? Will it be any different moving forward? Here's Maggie Vespa.
Monday was supposed to be the dawn of a new, albeit familiar, era in Portland, with the city vowing to clear more homeless camps, a practice they largely suspended during the pandemic. Yeah, right, says Amanda Fries.
No, I don't believe it.
Fries owns 7th Street Espresso near the southeast waterfront. In the last year, she's installed fencing and cameras. Her attempt to quell repeated break-ins and vandalism, which she believes stem from people in a nearby camp. She hopes the city knows business owners talk, and they're over Portland's promises.
None of us are satisfied. We're just being told what we want to hear, what will pacify us for another month, another 2 months.
Or at least in this case, another day. We shot this video Monday afternoon, and as the sign says, this is downtown. And downtown looks the same, as does the rest of the city. There are tents and camps everywhere. We even found signs from activists protesting the possibility of sweeps, but no sweeps or notices warning of them in sight.
And yeah, that's what it seems like. It seems like nothing happened. It seems really odd.
Zachary Young camps in Old Town Chinatown. He was prepared for city crews to make him leave Monday. So now you're just waiting.
Well, it just doesn't really seem like they are going to do anything. It seems really strange.
Really strange because Young says it was the city who put him on guard. Staff issued a press release last week. It noted amid concerns about COVID, the city largely stopped clearing homeless camps. As a result, the release said encampments and trash have grown to alarming numbers. Even the people in these camps are horrified.
It looks like a third world country down here. You got people defecating on the side of the streets.
Come Monday, the city said no more. The city council had approved a proposal to increase the number of campsites removed by crews, prioritizing those with, among other things, 8 tents or more, those with verified reports of violence or crime, and those that block sidewalks and pathways. No one with the city wanted to do interviews on the pivot, but Friday we tracked down Portland's mayor and housing commissioner and asked them, in reality, what will this change in policy mean? Here's what they said.
It means that we're going to help clean up the public health crisis that we're in.
There's just some areas that are just too environmentally sensitive, or situations where there really is a public health threat to both those in the camps and those surrounding, or a public safety issue that requires urgent remediation.
That being said, no one from the city wanted to put a number on how many camps would be cleared under this new policy. We asked because they put numbers on past totals. That release noted before the pandemic, Portland cleared an average of 50 homeless camps per week. After COVID hit, that number dropped to 5. Monday, with this new policy in place, we asked how many camps the city plans to clear this week. The answer? 8. 8 camps. We asked if that number might pick up, getting anywhere near that pre-COVID total of 50 camps per week. And we were told, quote, there may be a slight increase in postings as the weather gets better. We took that as a no. The city also won't tell us where those camps they plan to clear are. It is worth noting also on Monday, the Oregon Justice Resource Center announced a class action lawsuit against the city of Portland over its practice of clearing homeless camps, saying it creates, quote, tremendous hardship. And the plaintiffs are 4 homeless people. The city so far hasn't commented on that suit. Back at 7th Street Espresso, Freeze doesn't pretend this is easy for anyone. She wants the city to help Portland's homeless. She also wants officials to realize business owners are beyond fed up. And if the sweeps don't pick up soon, a crippling number, she says, are going to pick up and leave.
They're sick and tired of Multnomah County. They want to go to Clackamas County, the outskirts of Portland. Multnomah County has I can't think of the best thing to say. It burned its bridge. They haven't done enough.
Maggie Vespa, KGW News.
Now, since we're talking about the homelessness issue, as we do so many times on this show, this time I want to introduce you to an organization that helps serve our most vulnerable populations, including those living on the streets, Cascadia Behavioral Health Care. They're part of our Hey Help campaign to give back to the community. So all this week, we're asking you to consider donating to Cascadia Behavioral Health. For more than 40 years, they have supported Oregonians of all ages experiencing mental health and addiction challenges and trauma and poverty and homelessness. If you are interested in helping the work that they do, just open the camera on your phone, point it at the QR code on your screen right now, and it'll take you to a donation link. We are calling this a micro donation drive, so feel free to give any amount you want, no matter how small. Your support will help them to keep their health centers and walk-in clinics open, to make sure that their teams can continue to support people who are living in crisis at times and continue serving vulnerable community members. Each week, we're going to be highlighting a different cause. So if you know of any nonprofit or organization in need, please let us know. Use that hashtag HeyDan or email us at thestory@kgw.com. The water wars in the Klamath Basin are reaching a boiling point. Now, the militia group founded by Ammon Bundy has set up camp. And one of the teachers you've seen inside Woodlawn is getting a big honor for his work in the classroom.
He definitely set me up for success.
We do it because we really care about the kids and really want the best for those children.
When the story continues.
Stick around for the story with Dan Haggerty? Are you sure? You're gonna stick around for the story, right? With Dan Haggerty. Okay.
Right now, receive up to $1,650 cash back on a qualifying carrier system. Call Milwaukee Heating at 503-557-5562 today.
This period of introspection has really made me kind of focus in on me and giving myself nourishment.
I don't always need to be surrounded by people to feel happiness.
Learn from one another, help each other, and make it through.
Welcome back. I was just going through some of your emails and tweets during the break. Some of them great questions we're getting so far. I was just kind of talking back and forth with my producer, trying to get some answers. Hopefully we'll have some of them for you by the end of the show when I address comments. Otherwise, we'll continue to update you throughout the week on some of these really good questions, as we always get from our viewers. Now, we've been telling you about this conflict over the water in the Klamath Basin. If you haven't been watching our coverage, I want to give you the quick kind of Cliff's Notes versions of what's going on here. There's a drought, as you know, in the Klamath Basin in southern Oregon, most of the rest of the state too, but it's the worst in the Klamath region. And frankly, there isn't enough water to go around for both the indigenous tribes and for the farmers. Now, the tribes, they have senior rights. And earlier this month, water was shut off completely for the farmers. Now, we want to give you this update that we think is worth your time. From Jefferson Public Radio, they're reporting that just before the shutoff, two men who have ties to Ammon Bundy bought land next to the head gates of the main irrigation canal in Klamath Falls. They explained in this article why this location is important for access to water, and they go into the history of people vandalizing and protesting at that site in order to try and get access to more water. Now, the two men set up what they're calling a, quote, information center and a gathering place to talk to people about the crisis. They've got porta potties there. They have a campfire and a mobile home. They're all set up. They've also got a sign out there saying that Ammon Bundy is coming. Now, Bundy, I'm sure you remember, was the ringleader of the Malheur National Wildlife Takeover 5 years ago. He's got a long history of leading other far-right anti-government movements. One of the men who bought this land told JPR that he's, quote, in frequent contact with Bundy. So what's going to happen next? I don't know. But we're going to keep tabs on it for you. That whole situation, we will keep you posted here on the story. Now, if you've been watching this show for a while, you're probably familiar with our series Inside Woodlawn. We spent more than a year following teachers and kids and families at Woodlawn Elementary in Portland through the pandemic and really everything else that came along with it. Well, now, one of those teachers was just named Educator of the Year by On Point Community Credit Union, which means he will have his mortgage paid for an entire year. Kristen Severance was there when Mr. Clegg found out he won.
Today is Monday. Hoy es miércoles.
Woodlawn first grade teacher Lionel Clegg was a big part of KGW's Inside Woodlawn docuseries about life at the elementary school.
Do we still have 5 leaves? Yes, we do.
Welcome back. In honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, schools...
He was featured on the Today Show earlier this year in a story about the importance of having black male teachers in elementary schools.
I'm not in this for, people saying Mr. Clegg is the best teacher. I want to see my children grow up and be successful.
He definitely set me up for success.
But Woodlawn 4th grader Fiona Albo and her parents wanted to nominate him for the On Point Community Credit Union Educator of the Year way before that.
Well, to be honest, I've been wanting to do this for about 4 years, since Mr. Clegg taught Fiona in first grade.
I think he was good for first grade because I think he really set me up for the higher grades that were going to expect more from me instead of going soft on me.
I think he would be one of the greatest influences in Fiona's life. I mean, it's pretty crazy. She met him so young, but he had a great effect as a teacher, as an educator.
Mr. Clegg went to Woodlawn as a student, returned as a teacher, and spent the last 20-plus years dedicated to his kids.
And I thought it was very cool that he lived his whole life in Woodlawn, and I think that's just such dedication, and I think that when a teacher works so hard, I think that they should be rewarded.
So he set high standards, but instead of them being intimidated, they rose to meet that challenge. He challenged them, and in meeting that challenge, they all got confidence.
The first
Latino senator.
Who is that? Who did he help?
Mr. Clegg is known for his strict but fun teaching style, and he never shies away from talking about race or what's happening in our world.
Black lives do matter.
And I just think that level of commitment to teaching kids not only the basics of math, reading, writing, but just the basics of life. And I think that he's always been so courageous in bringing in social issues around social justice, issues around race, and really talking to kids as young as the first grade, honestly, openly, transparently, in a real way that gives them something to hold on to.
And we are so excited to be here today.
And On Point agreed.
Hey there.
Mr. Clegg thought he was supposed to do a Zoom interview about being a finalist.
Hey, I'm Michelle from On Point Community Credit Union, and you are our Educator of the Year.
Instead, On Point surprised him with the news he was one of the winners.
Surprise! Congratulations!
Thank you so much. It's such an honor.
Oh, thank you.
He'll get his mortgage paid for an entire year. Woodlawn will receive $2,500.
I'm shaking right now. You really don't notice that, but yes, definitely so.
Lionel is an all-star teacher, and his ability to create culturally rich material that connects with our students, that makes a difference in their lives, is the reason why he is our Educator of the Year.
Lionel, how are you feeling?
I am super excited, super excited.
Mr. Clegg said he was shocked and humbled by the honor.
And I think it's such an amazing thing that they recognize teachers, not just this year, but have been doing this for numerous years. And as teachers, we don't come in expecting to get rewards and things like that. We do it because we really care about the kids and really want the best for those children. And to be recognized for the work that you do is very humbling.
Congratulations to him, and thanks to On Point. My dad, this is his last year of teaching, 41 years. I think this might be his last week. So teachers molded my life, and I'm sure everybody at home has a great teacher in their life that deserves an honor like that, and On Point does it every year, so thanks to them. No, hey, keep those questions and comments coming. Use that hashtag #HeyDan. I'm going to read a few in just a bit, but first, we're going to go back several decades into the KGW vault when presidential candidates actually made campaign stops here, Astoria, Oregon, of all places. We're going to finish the story next. Welcome back. Checking through some emails, but first I want to dig into the KGW Vault with you. One of my favorite segments on the show. I know a lot of you agree. Sometimes we get a bunch of ideas from viewers at home, and sometimes we just look at the calendar and say, what happened around here on this day in history? Well, here's an interesting one. From 53 years ago today, NBC News presidential historian Michael Belosh tweeted this photo of Robert F. Kennedy campaigning in Astoria on May 24th, 1968. As he notes in this tweet, this was just 11 days before he was assassinated in Los Angeles. We also found these photos of RFK and his family running on the beach in Astoria during that same campaign stop. He ended up losing Oregon's primary 4 days later to Eugene McCarthy. If you have any ideas for the KGW Vault, anything from history you'd like us to take a look at, KGW has a deep, rich history in this community, and we usually have a lot of video to back that up, so let me know. Use that hashtag, HeyDan. So, got some questions here. Here's one. This came from Jim Hawley. Dan always says that all the emails will be answered. I've emailed him twice and haven't heard expletive back. Here is my current comment. All caps. I am sick and tired of hearing how many Oregonians have received one shot. Sick and tired of that. Then, bad curse word. How many Oregonians are fully vaccinated? Please stop with the halfway BS. 1.7 million people are fully vaccinated in Oregon. Jeez, man. It's a Monday. Bring it down like 17 notches. I'm with you. Simple. I'm sorry I missed the first comment. My goodness. Jim. Other questions we got were about the lottery. People saying, hey, I'm from Washington, but I got vaccinated in Oregon. Am I in the Oregon pool? I don't know. I got to ask Pat. Some other people saying, hey, if I got vaccinated before this was announced, way back in the day, I was one of the very first people. Am I still part of the pool? Yes. So anybody who's been vaccinated in Oregon is supposed to be in this pool. As we know, they're having problems with people in the tribes or people who got vaccinated through the tribes, also the VA. But they're trying to get everybody incorporated. So if you have more questions, we got a month to hash this thing out, right? They're drawing it on the 28th. We got time. We'll figure it out together. Keep asking me questions. Use that hashtag HeyDan. That's the story on a Monday. We'll see you back here